Sheltering from the rain, Princes William and Harry and the Duchess of Cambridge arrived in the public garden at Kensington Palace on Wednesday to pay a quiet tribute to their mother, Princess Diana. They met representatives of the charities Diana supported before taking a tour of the renamed White Garden, which has been transformed temporarily with white English roses and forget-me-nots planted earlier this year. The gathering follows weeks of renewed interest in Diana ahead of the 20th anniversary of her death on Thursday. The flame sculpture in Paris, which stands above the point where the limousine she was travelling in crashed, is meant to be a replica of the Statue of Liberties in New York, but since that day it's become a memorial for the princess. The Alma Tunnel in Paris still bears the marks of the tragic episode which shook the world, with thousands of visiting tourists leaving poetic messages in her honour.
The streets of Pakistan's port city of Karachi have been submerged by heavy downpours that began early on Thursday. Some people say they're fed up and frustrated with authorities for not taking better preventative action. The authorities are not bothered. Thunderstorm predictions were made 4 days ago. Karachi's mayor should have taken action. They take so much money to fix these things, but there's no improvement. More than 1,000 people have died across India, Bangladesh and Nepal. Aid workers estimate around 16 million people have been affected, with tens of thousands displaced. In Bangladesh, where at least 134 people have died, more than 10,000 hectares of farmland are estimated to have been wiped out, leaving farmers with nothing.
Hundreds of additional troops have been sent in to Al-Ayadir to support Iraqi coalition forces who are facing fierce resistance from ISIL militants. The fighting in the small town 11 kilometers northwest of Tal Afar has been described by some Iraqi soldiers as being multiple times worse than the battle for Mosul. Peshmerga forces in the area say around 150 so-called Islamic State members and their families have surrendered themselves. This Peshmerga major says, in fact, these displaced people who turn themselves in are not displaced people at all. They're Islamic State members and they wore explosive belts, and these are the belts in front of you. While the ferocious fighting near the city of Tal Afar is going on in Iraq, in neighbouring Syria, busloads of militants and their families headed for IS-held Deir al-Zor have been deliberately blocked by US airstrikes. The convoy is part of a ceasefire agreed after offensives last week on the Syrian-Lebanese border. But the deal has been criticised by the US-led coalition and Iraq, as the destination of the IS members is territory close to where Iraqi forces are engaged. In Brazil, a pile-up involving at least 36 vehicles has left 2 people dead and a dozen injured. The accident happened on a highway bridge near Sao Paulo. A lorry carrying cans of paint rear-ended another loaded with scrap metal. Flames engulfed both vehicles and those nearby. Cars behind them weren't able to stop in time due to the smoke causing visibility problems, triggering a line of multiple crashes. It's unclear exactly how the 2 victims died. The authorities believe one was killed when his car became jammed between the 2 lorries. The other may have been struck or fell off the bridge as he left his car to avoid the flames.
At least 7 people have died and dozens more are believed to be trapped after a 3-story building collapsed in India's financial hub, Mumbai. It comes after 2 days of torrential rain and flooding in the city, which authorities say could have weakened the structure. 8 survivors have been pulled from the rubble and rescue efforts are continuing. The building is located in Mumbai's Dongri neighbourhood, an area full of narrow streets and closely packed buildings, some nearly a century old. Poor construction is often blamed for similar incidents to this. Last month, 17 people were killed when a 4-story building collapsed in an eastern suburb of the city. Nearly a month's average rainfall fell on Mumbai on Tuesday. Many people have been living in makeshift shelters amid widespread damage caused by the worst flooding to strike South Asia in years.
With polls suggesting his popularity on a national level is in freefall, Emmanuel Macron has outlined plans he hopes will make France a great power on the international stage. In his first major interview, the French president told weekly news magazine Le Point that he wanted Europe to be a continent of equal power to the US and China. On a national level, he promised a profound transformation, particularly concerning his proposed overhaul of France's labour laws. But the plan to loosen regulations and boost the economy has been hotly contested by trade unions and left-wing parties alike, which say workers' rights would be all but abolished. While outwardly life at the Élysée Palace appears calm, turbulent times could lie ahead, with France's Employers' Federation predicting the labour reform will make or break Macron's presidency.
Televidendo no momento, ouro para um espaço comercial, agora nós estamos back no Informe Deportivo.